from around the globe came to Paradise, each focused on one goal: to make the final table.
Pretty nice feeling.
Now 8 players are set to do battle for one of poker's richest and most coveted titles. The PCA main event final table begins now. PokerStars Caribbean Adventure from Atlantis, Paradise Island. Here at this tropical retreat, fun in the sun is guaranteed, and probably the biggest attractions are the more than 18 thrilling water slides at this resort. The best thing about any water slide is the anticipation at the top. What lies ahead is an exhilarating ride that ultimately brings warm waters below. Well, the players on our final table have quite a ride in front of them, except no one knows how it'll end. Each of our remaining players are set to take the plunge of their lives, and each hopes it will be the best ride they've ever had. And what a ride it's been so far. To reach the final table, these 8 men had to wade through the largest field in PCA history, 1,529 players. Many of the game's greats came to the Bahamas with hopes of making the final table, but after 5 grueling sessions, the field was finally whittled down to 8.
Congrats, everybody. Big final table to make.
Now inside the poker room, the anticipation is in the air as everyone knows that one of these 8 players will walk away with $2.2 million and the coveted PCA main event trophy. The crowd is ready, the players are ready, now it's time to meet them. 8th in chips is Åge Raven from Norway, who has a lot of work ahead of him with only 1.9 million chips. The rest of the final table has its roots in the United States, starting off with 21-year-old Zach Goldberg.
Unbelievable, it's amazing, never expected this, and couldn't ask for anything better.
6th in chips is Benjamin Zamani with 4.3 million chips. But experienced poker pro Thomas Corral has over 4.8 million, while the youngest gun in the field is 19-year-old Harrison Gimbel from Jupiter, Florida.
I came here to win. This is what I dreamed of. This is what I'm here for.
3rd in chips is 63-year-old Barry Shulman, who's hoping to become the oldest PCA champion ever.
I'm a very driven person. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm at the final table.
Ty Ryman is hoping for his biggest live victory to date as he's 2nd in chips with 9.9 million. And leading the pack is chip leader Ryan D'Angelo with a little over 10 million.
I really feel like I'm ready to win this one. I think it's my tournament to lose.
Well, it's certainly an interesting group of 8, but only one can be the PCA main event champion. It's time for the final table to begin, and for me to give this a try.
I'm James Hartigan, joined by Triple Crown winner Gavin Griffin. We're bringing you the final table of the biggest PCA main event in history, with $2.2 million up for grabs for the winner. Barry Shulman, the oldest player at this final table. Apart from Barry, quite a young table, Gavin.
Yeah, as is customary at the PCA, a lot of young players, a lot of online players, and this final table is made up of everybody under the age of 26, I believe.
Ryan D'Angelo, one of the young guns of poker. He has the chip lead right now. He's going to make it 220,000 from the cutoff with pocket jacks.
Jack's a big starting hand from the cutoff. D'Angelo is an active opener, and he won't get credit for this big of a hand.
Harrison Gimbel has picked up ace-king, and he's going to re-raise D'Angelo.
Yeah, Harrison Gimbel not necessarily giving D'Angelo credit, but he's got a big hand with the ace-king of diamonds.
Action comes back to D'Angelo.
I'll make it 1.3 million.
1.3 million total.
Well, there's the 4-bet. How does Gimbel respond to this?
Well, with ace-king, I don't think he's going to want to call. If he does anything, he's going to move all in.
Come on.
That's exactly what he does. What does D'Angelo do now?
Well, D'Angelo's worried that he has queens, kings, or aces. He's hoping he has ace-king, as I think that's the worst hand Gimbel goes in with.
Call.
Call.
New aces.
He makes the call and shows the jacks. Wow, 10 million in the pot.
Undo.
Good luck, gentlemen.
And it's a flip.
It's a coin flip, and D'Angelo's lucky that it's a coin flip. He certainly ran into the very bottom of Gimble's range, I think.
How did these guys get all the money in with those stacks?
I think Gimble's shove is good. D'Angelo's call,
Got any jabs?
it might be a little bit light.
And there's the ace, putting Gimble ahead.
Ah, that's bad.
D'Angelo's been the chip leader for so long, he made us think he's bulletproof.
That's Ryan's mum, by the way.
Jack of hearts.
Runner for a straight. Now just a jack needed on the river, a 5% chance.
What do you have, like 6 mil or something?
I'll count it after. I don't know right now.
Trying to jinx you.
D'Angelo ready to send the chips across. It's not a jack. In fact, Gimble fills up.
All right.
A brutal looking river card for D'Angelo. He thought it was a jack at first. It's a king, and he does not win the pot.
D'Angelo down to below 5 million. Gimble is known as Gibbler. His railing crew includes Hafid Khan, who finished second at the PCA a couple of years back. And talking of railing crews, there are the Schulman supporters, led by Barry's wife, Alan.
Well, if you do happen to bust, can we take the signs and cross off your name and put one of ours there instead?
Oh, Tom Corral lacking in supporters. No one thinks he's Corralicious. Barry Schulman could become the oldest winner of the PCA. John Gale currently holds the record. He took this down in 2005. But every other time this tournament's been held, the winner has been under 30 years of age. It's a young man's game, Gavin.
It's starting into a young man's game, and there's the youngest at our table right there, Harrison Gimble, and now our chip leader.
Ty Ryman, another young gun. Remember, these guys could all become the youngest ever winner of the PCA main event. Action in this hand is on Ben Zamani, 8-9 of spades.
Ben is probably the most unorthodox player at the table. He's the kind of guy who's going to limp a lot. He's going to make some weird plays that you won't see from everybody else. And speaking of weird plays, Ty Ryman overlimps with 2 aces.
Ty Ryman knows the table, though, doesn't he? Such an aggressive table, 2 limpers. Someone's going to seize on that, surely.
You would think so. He's expecting a raise behind him, and so far he hasn't gotten it.
He's going to get it now. But let's not forget, we have seen queens crack aces when Ryman had the queens and John Duffy had the aces.
Yeah, and in that hand, Ryman made an interesting play there, too. He flatted the open raise from D'Angelo. Now he's overlimped with the aces. Corral's obliged him with a raise with queens. And the action's now on Zamani. We'll see what he does.
He decides to fold. Clearly he was looking for a cheap flop. Of that, how much is the bet? Like you care, Ty.
And neither of these guys are looking for a cheap flop. They're looking to get all the money in. Corral's upset. He's wondering if Ty could possibly limp with kings or aces. It seems unlikely, but it just happens that Ty has the aces this time.
All in.
Call.
Here we go.
And Tom seems to know it, too. He seems to know as soon as Ty called that he was beat.
He's got the 2 aces.
Glad someone's amused by the situation.
Really thought about folding, too. So sick.
Apparently Harrison and Ty have the same supporters. Tom says he thought about folding. It seems like it'd be really tough to fold in this situation. It's so unlikely that someone overlimps with aces. He just got unlucky that he ran into a big hand.
Just a queen will rescue him on the river. Otherwise, he's the first player out of this final table. He is gone. He finishes in 8th place. He will get $201,300.
Let's go! So disappointing to make a final table, pick up such a big hand in a big spot, and run into a bigger hand.
You want action, you've got action. Ryan D'Angelo was the chip leader, then Harrison Gimble. The new chip leader is Ty Ryman, sitting with a stack of nearly 16 million.
Welcome back to the PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure from Atlantis in the Bahamas.
And Ty Ryman continuing to stack his chips after eliminating Thomas Corral from the final table.
So Thomas Corral takes 8th place. Thomas, big hand at the end.
Yeah, the way he played it was kind of fishy, so I pretty much figured I had to play with the queens. To his credit, he played the hand really well.
200 grand, that's a nice little consolation prize there.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's still very small compared to what was up for grabs, so I'm still going to be pretty upset the rest of the night. As ridiculous
it's
as
all
it
smiles.
sounds.
So I'll tell you what, I'll take the 200 grand and you keep playing and we'll see how we go with that.
All right.
Well, congratulations. I think 8th is absolutely fantastic and we'll see much more of you, I think, Thomas.
All right, thanks a lot.
Lovely, thanks very much.
So Coral's gone, 7 remain, and Zach Goldberg is the short stack with around 19 big blinds. Ty Ryman leads the pack with more than 16 million in chips. Remember, this is one of the most prestigious tournaments in poker. The title, the trophy, 2.2 million to the champion.
This is such a big event for all the young players, and that's why you see so many of them here at the final table. All of them come out to the PCA to have a good time, play a little poker, and hopefully make the final table.
D'Angelo is going to min-raise here with the ace-10. And he's run into jacks.
Gimbal trying to decide if in position he wants to call or raise. He elects to raise to make it 570,000.
Poor old Ryan D'Angelo. He has jacks in his own hand and he loses, and then he runs into jacks, and it's the guy who did the damage to his big stack, Harrison Gimbal.
While Ben Zamani, he knocks out a re-raise, makes it 1.03 million with the queen jack of clubs. This isn't a hand he's doing this for value. He is bluffing. It's a nice looking hand, but it's certainly not ahead of Gimbal's range.
But the current trend seems to be, Gavin, to 3-bet light, and I guess that's what he thinks Gimbal's doing here.
Yeah, he thinks Gimbal's 3-betting light, so he's 4-betting light in order to get a fold.
He doesn't get the fold, he gets a call. Crucially, D'Angelo was able to get out of this hand with his ace-10.
And the other thing that Zamani has, he has position throughout the hand. That's very important.
It's a low flop. No reason to suspect that he can get Gimbal off this hand.
No, and he's certainly not checking here. He wants Gimbal to fold ace high, king high, maybe even as much as a pair of 8s or 9s.
750.
Oddly enough, he bets less than his 4-bet amount on the flop. He made it 1.03 million before the flop. Now he bets 750,000. Gimbal has to try to interpret what that means.
You did say that Zamani was an unorthodox player. Well, that's Gimbal's response, all in.
Well, and no real decision here for Ben. He's folding the queen high.
Gimbal wins an 11 million chip pot, uncontested.
Tricky way to play aces.
Eyes now the button, Zach and Ryan.
I learned from there.
Nice hit.
Those guys can smile, but Zamani is thinking, why did I make that move at that point?
Yeah, I think Zamani's okay with it. It didn't work out as he hoped, but the play has to be somewhere in his repertoire, and it didn't work out against Gimbal that time.
Well, action is going to begin with Barry Shulman here, folding the queen 6 under the gun. In fact, it's been folded around to Ryan D'Angelo, who finds ace-10 again, this time on the button.
D'Angelo's going to open with the raise here. Ace-10's a very good hand to open on the button.
Are we going to see the Gimbal D'Angelo showdown round 2? Well, he's got 9s.
How much did you start the hand with?
2.8.
I'm all.
Does it to him again, and this time it will cost D'Angelo everything he's got to call.
Gimbal applying a lot of pressure here. D'Angelo started the hand with about 28 big blinds. And he's got to decide whether he can call it off with ace-10 here. It's a really tough spot.
All right, call.
I pocket
Ryan's
9.
gonna call.
Bit of a loose call from D'Angelo. He's hoping that Gimbal had king-queen or a small pair. Those are the only things that he's ahead of.
Is that real?
The Rail are a bit surprised that he called.
And Gimbal's surprised that he called as well.
Am I supposed to call there? Probably not. I don't know. Are you just folding ace-7 or calling? I don't know.
D'Angelo's surprised that he called.
I wish you had ace-9.
King button versus big blind. I don't think it's that bad.
Everybody seems to be surprised.
Well, the 10 in the door sees D'Angelo take the lead.
Cousins already takes a big lead.
How do you get 40 bigs in?
He's still thinking about the call.
Well, he's a little bit off there. Only had about 28 bigs. 40, I think D'Angelo folds.
Just a 9 on the river would eliminate Ryan D'Angelo from the PCA main event. Great shape to double up here and get some chips back from Harrison Gimbel. He'll double up.
Go! Go, Ryan!
I love the fact his dad's getting a picture while he's still at the table.
He might not have much longer if he keeps making calls like that.
I guess you won the important one, huh?
Harrison's entourage is still pretty disgusted by D'Angelo's call pre-flop. Maybe he is tilting slightly after losing that big flip against Harrison Gimbel. He's still got his eyes set firmly on the prize.
I have a lot of friends who have made millions of dollars playing poker, and I'm not to that stage yet. Last summer I had a big score at the World Series for $325,000, which I was very proud of. That was my first big final table. And at that point I really wasn't ready to win the bracelet. I really feel like I'm a much more seasoned player now, and I really feel like I'm ready to win this one. I go all in. It's kind of surreal right now. I couldn't sleep last night because I was very excited. My mind was racing. You see the big glass trophy? It's sick. $2.2 million is a life-changing amount of money for sure. It'd be huge.
Well, Ryan's had some great online results. Last year he won 2 World Championship of Online Poker bracelets. And around the same time of year, Barry Shulman won a World Series of Poker Europe bracelet, winning the main event, heads up against Daniel Negreanu.
It's a heck of a feat to beat Daniel heads up after Daniel made the final table 2 years in a row. Very impressive by Barry.
Ty Ryman, chip leader at this final table, is going to make it 280,000.
All in.
Raise all in.
And Zach Goldberg is going to shove for 1.5 million.
Ace-queen here for Robin. He has to decide whether he thinks that's better than Goldberg's hand, and he also has to worry about Ty behind him, the chip leader.
I'm all in.
Re-raise all in.
He shoves over the top. That should mean
Re-raise all in.
Ty Ryman can get away from this pretty easily.
Yeah, Ty will be out, and Goldberg will be at risk.
You have a pair.
Ty will pass.
I was gonna have to, and I'd have been.
Goldberg very happy to see he's racing.
He's got to be happy that it's not jack, so better for Robin. Got a coin flip, and he's 50-50 to double up to about $3.5 million.
Against a raise and a re-raise, has Robin overplayed ace-queen here?
I don't think so. If Goldberg had 25 big blinds or so, it might have been a tougher decision. But with only 15 big blinds, Robin, I think, made the right decision there.
Goldberg does not want to make a set on the turn. He's confident. Robin takes the lead with the ace on the turn. And now, Goldberg wants a queen.
Nice turn, good game.
Lead with a pair of aces is Olga.
Only a queen, 3 of them in the deck.
It's a 7 of spades. Let's have a round.
That's the end of Zach Goldberg. He's our 7th place finisher. He'll get $300,000. And just like that, we are down to 6.
A tough ace on the turn for Goldberg, and a great ace for Robin.
Robin, the last remaining European player in this tournament. He has $5.5 million in chips now. So 6-handed play about to begin. Let's have a look at how everyone stacks up. Well, Ryman still has the chip lead. Gimbel second in chips. And not great news for Shulman and Zamani, sandwiched between the 2 chip leaders who both proved to be very aggressive at this final table. And of course, 6 Max Hold'em tends to be a more aggressive form of the game.
Yeah, when things start to get shorthanded, already active players become more active, and they're going to make it really tough on you.
Zamani folds under the gun. He's getting some hands today.
Yeah, Ty picking up hands and using them well.
290.
Raise, 290.
Folded around to Gimbal in the small blind. He'll let it go. Barry Shulman, ace-jack. Now, Barry's been sitting there patiently. He's been waiting for hands. He finally finds one, and he's walked into a bigger ace.
Yeah, I'd like to see Barry at least think about it a little bit more before re-raising. He sort of just grabbed some chips and threw them out there.
You raised me like that when you had Jack 8 last time, Barry. 2 days ago.
Ooh, they've got history.
I have Jack 8 beat.
These young, sharp minds.
They've got ace-jack beat.
I'm all in.
Great move by Ryman.
Ryman's got a big stack, a big hand, and he's putting Barry to the test.
All in re-raise from Ty. Barry will pass.
Barry
Ty
lets it
takes the
go.
flop.
Cheers for Ty Ryman.
Jack 8 beat also.
Had a real good hand.
Huh?
Said I had a real good hand.
So did I. I would have called anyone else at the table with that hand.
Really?
Interesting comment. I mean, Ty's certainly not the tightest player at the table.
And Barry thinking, did one of these kids just make a move against me?
Now with the internet, they've probably played more hands than I have. But I'm positive I've played more hands live than they have.
Is this your first final table, Barry?
No.
No.
I'm positive there's nobody there that's been to nearly as many important final tables. I only play in about 4 or 5 big events a year. It's strictly because I like to win, and it's good for my mind that's becoming addled now that I'm 63 years old. Some people have come up to me and said, win one for the old guys, and that's kind of cool.
I might have grandchildren your age.
Let there be no mistake. I want to win at least as much as all the kids do.
2009 was the year of the Shulman. Barry won his bracelet in Europe. His son Jeff made the final table of the main event. Both of them railed by Alan Shulman. No tournament slouch herself. She's cashed 32 times in poker tournaments. With ace 10, Barry's going to make it 300,000.
The blinds have gone up to 60 and 120,000 now. Ben Zamani.
All in.
Players all in.
Puts in about 14 big blinds, 12 big blinds here.
Question is, does he have a stack which can get Barry Shulman to fold? Well, hold fire on that, because here comes Ogaravan with ace-queen.
In almost the exact same spot he was in before with ace-queen. An opener, a shove for about 12 big blinds, 15 big blinds. Now the action's on him in the small blind.
I'm all in.
So he reshoves.
He's all in for 5 million.
Want your hand back?
Barry is entertained. And now suddenly Gimbal wakes up with jacks. And he moves all in.
Re-raise, all in.
Gimbal moves in enough to cover Barry.
It's back to Barry, who made the original raise. We have 3 players all in.
I know I had 1 ace. I want to make sure it's not 2. Yeah, it's only 1.
Barry says no thank you.
So we have 2 players
I know
all
I had
in.
the only ace.
And ace queen of clubs for Oga.
Gimbal is certainly willing to gamble with his chips. He could easily have just folded, let them battle it out.
I know many players, Gavin, who would never have got involved in this spot with jacks.
Ace queen suited in clubs.
Not saying it's the incorrect move. It's certainly a bold, I'm playing for the win move. An 8 on the flop.
Now, let's remember that there are 2 pots here being contested. Zamani's all in for the main pot. His 1.6 million 3 ways. Then there's another 3.4 million each between Ravin and Gimbal on the side. So there's still 6.8 in play between Ravin and Gimbal.
So So as it stands, Zamani in great shape to triple up, but Raven on the verge of elimination, unless it's an ace or a queen on the river. Obviously, he has a 0% chance of winning the main pot. Of the 3 players in this hand, Olga Raven is the only one not smiling. And that's why, because he is out of the tournament, 6th place, secures him $450,000. Zamani will triple up, and Gimbal gains chips by winning the side pot against Raven.
Gimbal takes a little gamble there with the jacks, comes out ahead.
So now we have just 5 players competing for the title of champion of the 2010 PCA. Welcome back to Atlantis on Paradise Island, where just 5 players remain at the final table of the PokerStars.com Caribbean Adventure main event. And right now, Michelle Orp is sitting with this man's supporters.
Right, I'm sat in the thick of it and I've joined Barry's family, the lovely wife, Alan. Hello.
Hi.
This is a great spot for you, directly behind your husband.
Yes.
So you can kind of see what's going on. How nerve-wracking is it, though, because you can't see the cards?
It's not really nerve-wracking because he's been at final tables many times and it's quite interesting.
He's an old hand.
He's 63 and the others are in their 20s, so, but he has final table experience, so he has that going for him.
Now, what I have to say, this is great. They all have posters. Can we see your billboards?
Yes.
Can I have one? Can we shake?
Yeah.
This is the Shulman Empire.
We love barrel wishes. Very good.
Well, I love your posters.
Oh,
Good luck to Barry.
Thank you. We're having a great time.
Excellent. Well, we love having you here as well, and keep cheering.
Thank you so much.
Lots of noise. But let's get back to the action and see how he fares in the tournament.
I think it's fair to say the Shulman clan have got the best banners. Everyone else's are a bit rubbish.
Yeah, their signs are pretty nice. Everybody else has like one sheet of paper, like printed out.
They put some effort in, I appreciate that. So Zamani's made it 250,000 with the ace-5. Ryan D'Angelo, one-time chip leader, on the button with queen-6. He's going to make a move here.
A little bit of a 3-bet bluff in position. Against a tricky player like Zamani, it's not bad to mix up your range a little bit.
Look at this, Zamani makes the call. Not scared of playing a flop against this guy out of position.
Usually that's the kind of hand you're going to fold to a 3-bet. But as we said before, Zamani plays a different type of poker than most people.
Well, he has a gut shot straight draw. And of course is still in front with ace high. Not much for D'Angelo. It goes check, check on the flop.
D'Angelo's picked up the flush draw here.
Does he bet it?
Yeah, D'Angelo's going to bet here. He should get Zamani to fold the ace high.
It's quite a smallish bet, though, isn't it? Into a pretty big pot.
There's about 1.4 million in the pot. He only bets 375,000, about 25% of the pot.
I like that. Should get Zamani to fold, but he doesn't. He makes the call with ace high, and the rivers are blank. Ace high's good.
Ace high is good, but it's going to be pretty tough to win with this. If he checks, he's going to have to bet to win this pot.
Question is, if D'Angelo thinks he's light here, can he take him off the hand with a raise?
Yeah, I think if D'Angelo decides that he's going to get involved here, he should be raising.
Instead he calls.
You win.
He calls. I guess he puts him on 6-7 or 5-6 here.
No, Ryan's sister. He's lost.
Oh my God, I called you with queen high, dude.
Queen 6.
Oh my God. Oh God, that hurts.
I thought I might have the best hand. I didn't think he'd call with the worst hand.
You're so bad. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Is he talking to himself or Ben?
It's the sickest thing ever. Like, oh my God. You really called pre with that? So bad.
Oh, he's talking to Zamani.
Wow.
You 3-bet queen 6 pre, so I don't think you can point fingers.
Yeah, I guess, but that's the sick. What are you doing, Ben? Oh my God.
His instinct was right, Zamani was light, but he couldn't find it in him to make the raise. So his stack takes a blow, but he still has 43 big blinds. In fact, they're all really deep, especially Ty Ryman, sitting there with a stack of 160 big blinds.
Yeah, they've made a great structure for this tournament, and there's a lot of play deep.
It's so sick. Oh my God.
Still walking off the frustration of that hand.
That is ridiculous. What are you doing? So bad.
What did you think you had when you called?
Queen high.
Oh, word.
I think it's time to move on, Ryan.
Oh my God, that's so gross.
He's not listening to me.
He just can't get over it. He's got to try to bring himself together because he still has plenty of chips to play. If he keeps letting this hand affect him, you know, he could blow through 43 big blinds just like that.
Well, he's sitting this one out. Instead, it'll be Gimbal who comes in with a raise to 275,000.
And here we see Zamani again, calls from the small blind with the 7-5 offsuit. Pretty loose, but as we've mentioned time and time again, he plays differently than anybody else you'll see.
And Ryman chooses not to squeeze from the big blind, but just calls with the ace-queen.
He's calling with ace-queen, looking to extract value on later streets. There's so much play right now that it makes sense to try to get value later in the hand than pre-flop.
It's Ryman who bets out with 2 overs to the board. Gimbal with the up and down straight draw.
Yeah, Ty's betting out. It looks like that flop could have hit the hands he'll call from the big blind with. Just didn't happen to hit him this time.
Well, Zamani was actually in front with a pair of 7s, but he's got out of the way.
Yeah, bottom pair, bad kicker on a very coordinated board. Doesn't look too good against 2 opponents.
And there's the straight for Gimbal.
Check.
Gimbal's going to look to get a little bit of value here. Seems like it'll be very hard for Ryman to call, especially a large bet like that, 1.1 million. He's thinking about it though.
Do you look at that board and think ace high could be good?
Well, what he did is he put Gimbal on queen jack, maybe even king queen. Those are the 2 major hands that Gimbal can have that he beats.
Gimbal wins the hand with the straight.
Butcher that hand about as hard as you can.
Are you at ace 10?
Don't even.
Ryman still with the chip lead, still in contention for the $2.2 million first prize. Pretty big jump, 700,000 for the next player out, $1 million straight for fourth, 1.3 for third, and 1.75 for the runner-up.
A lot of money still in play. Big difference between 5th place and 1st place.
D'Angelo still steaming.
Guess he didn't really learn a lesson from the queen 6 hand. Gonna open here with the king 7 of diamonds.
Gimbal calls in position. Jacks for Shulman.
All in.
And he's going to shove. He is one of the shorter stacks at this final table.
Alan looking on, worried about her man.
Wow.
Now Gimbal's in a weird spot. He's flatted, so it's hard for Barry to put him on as good a hand as he has.
Time for Bear to double up.
Gimbal just has to decide if he can do this with a worse hand than ace-queen.
Wish I'd seen you do this before.
He's not going to call. He's just stalling.
Oh. You gonna show it?
It'll be on TV.
Harrison tosses
I had ace
away.
queen.
Barry takes the pot.
You call that?
Very disciplined laydown by Gimbal.
You did?
So Barry's all-in gets through and we are still five-handed. Obviously more than 1,500 players have been eliminated from this tournament. Some of them are having fun outdoors.
Climbers Rush presents the ultimate challenge to any man's strength and courage. And today, 3 brave poker players, and one who chickened out, have come to see who will ultimately conquer their fear and the competition.
I like challenges.
There's no chance. It's easier to win 2 EPT in a row than arriving to the end of this.
Feels a little uncomfortable, but I think I'll get through it. Yeah, I'm ready.
Go.
And woo! My God, my God. I feel like I'm going to die. I don't understand. What do I do? You can do it, Dario.
And touch it.
Yo! Yeah. Oh my God, my foot is shaking.
All right.
I don't think me and Jazz don't have any chance to win.
No chance at all.
No chance at all. Wow.
With a winning time of 47 seconds, Chad Brown is king of the wall.
Chad, 47 seconds. That's actually very impressive. Okay.
We've had 6-year-olds go faster than those guys.
Dario shouldn't feel too bad. At least he had the guts to give it a go, unlike Dennis Phillips.
Yeah, Dennis just sat back and checked the time on his beautiful watch there.
Back inside the poker room, action on Zamani.
Oh, then.
He's picked up ace-jack and he's going to shove with it.
Blinds are 80 and 160,000. He's got about 2.7 million. Pretty standard shove.
But he's run into the ace-king of Barry Shulman, who makes the insta-call and puts Zamani at risk.
Hold him, honey.
One of those hands that sort of just played itself, five-handed at a final table. 2 big hands. Barry just has the bigger one at this point.
Zamani dead to a jack or running diamonds. What price a diamond on the turn, just to make it a little bit more interesting.
The 9 of diamonds on the turn would be an interesting card.
Will you take the 2 of diamonds?
If I'm Ben Zamani, I'll take any diamond or a jack.
Well, those are his outs on the river. Otherwise, he's out the tournament.
And if he goes out, he gets 700,000, and everybody left is a millionaire.
It's another diamond. He makes the nut flush on the river. Shulman loses with the best hand. Gutting for Allen.
Ben gets it in behind and gets there. Shulman with a bit of tough luck here.
By virtue of that
So you woke up
good
at the bottom
fortune, Zamani will double up to 5.32 million. And Barry Shulman is now the short stack with 2.19 million. Ty Ryman still out in front with 16.5. Just behind him, Harrison Gimbel with 13.6. D'Angelo somewhere in the middle. And there is Ryan, one-time chip leader. He's got 7s. Makes it 375,000. Gimbel considering playing a junky 7-5.
Harrison Gimbel makes a little bit of a out-of-character 3-bet here. Makes it 1.1 million, a pretty big 3-bet.
In 120,000
And it's shoving time for Shulman.
Well, he has to call. He'll call. Ryan will call.
I don't think Ryan can call, can he?
Ryan won't be calling, but Gimbel will. It's only another million more to him.
Sure enough, D'Angelo gets out of the way.
More. I call.
Harrison says
And
call.
Gimbel makes the crying call.
Smile on your face,
Barry has ace queen offsuit.
Normally in this situation you'd be thinking, yeah, 7-5, 2 live cards, but we saw D'Angelo fold pocket sevens.
Hold him one time! One time! Jeez!
Let's be 5-7.
Big guy's confident.
I really don't see how he could lose.
8-6-4.
5-7, 6-8-9 to the dome.
For those sick online dudes know that 7-5 often gets there.
7-5 suited is one of my favorite hands, actually. Offsuit is a little different story. And he's not looking too good with the 2 dead sevens.
Well, now Gimbal could catch runner to make a straight.
Diamond player has a diamond in their hand.
Have some more out.
What do I want? I want a 6.
Gimbal would like to see a 6.
3 or
Barry would not.
Turn is a 10 of
All right,
spades.
so now down to 4 outs.
Situation, Barry's leading ace queen.
Yeah, 3
1 out,
fives,
7,
1
please.
7.
I got my cabbage patch arm ready.
I don't know what that means, but I'm excited for him. The river's a blank.
Barry's
Okay.
Double up!
And that was his cabbage patch.
It was cabbage, no patch.
Well, Barry is still a short stack, but now has more than 5 million in chips.
Welcome back to the beautiful Bahamas. From the breathtaking waterscapes to the brilliant beaches to the beautiful marine life, there's plenty to see and do if you're no longer playing poker. But paradise is the last thing on the minds of the 5 men at the final table as they remain focused on one solitary goal: winning the PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure main event title. So let's get the cards back in the air.
We're getting ever closer to crowning a champion here at the PCA main event. Let's take a look at how the final 5 stack up. Ty Ryman out in front with 16.5 million. And at the bottom end of the leaderboard, Barry Shulman is the short stack with 4.5 million. And there is our chip leader, Ty Ryman.
Are you feeling lonely down there?
Yeah, I'm all by myself, man.
We feel for you, Ryan.
Don't forget that our 5th place finisher just misses out on that $1 million payday.
700,000 for the next player out. Is Shulman going to make a move here with the 5s?
Call.
I thought he might shove this, but instead he just limps.
Yeah, he limps in, and as is customary for Ben Zamani, he's going to call behind with the Jack-8.
And D'Angelo completes from the small. Ace-10 in the big for Gimbal.
Sort of surprised that Gimbal didn't just try to pick up the pot right there. Ace-10, a bunch of limpers. Seems like he could just win it. Or he could just flop top 2 and win it that way.
Everyone checks. Apart from Ben Zamani. Why not bet? You got a gut shot.
Zamani takes a stab. He's got outs.
Now he has hit a pair to go with his gut shot straight draw. Gimbal playing this very slow.
Continuing to slow play here. But Zamani obliges and fires another bullet on the turn.
And now
Sure about that?
Gimbal raises.
1.4 million. Represents a decent chunk of Zamani's stack.
Zamani's made the call. The river is a jack. It gives Zamani jacks and 8s. Gimbal still with aces and 10s though, still with the lead.
It does put a 4-card straight on the board. It might be difficult for Zamani to get value here.
Okay. Can ask for a worse river guard.
Zamani might even be bluffing in this spot.
I might still pay you off.
If he thought it was behind on the turn, that's a really good card to bluff.
I call.
I don't even know if I have the best hand.
You don't. Nice call by Gimbal.
Yeah, Ben not entirely sure if he was value betting or bluffing. It's a weird spot.
Thought it was a bluff.
Yes, ma'am.
Zamani has lost a significant chunk of his stack on that hand. Here he has something. That his chips get in the way of the hole card camera. He's going to raise with it. Actually, this makes it interesting. We have a player whose hole cards we don't know.
Well, he opens, tie re-raises. We haven't seen too much on a tie since he built that big stack.
Oh, jacks.
All in.
It didn't work for you earlier on, Ryan.
Re-raise, all in.
It's not going to matter too much what Ben has unless he's got jacks beat. I don't see him calling with anything worse than jacks.
He gets out the way, but Ryman, the chip leader, surely will make the call.
Yeah, Ryman can afford the call, and he can expect D'Angelo to show up with some worse hands than he's got.
I call.
Call.
Ryman calls, and once again, D'Angelo is flipping. His jacks against 2 overs. Last time the jacks didn't hold up and it cost him the chip lead. If the jacks don't hold up this time, he is out of the tournament.
All right, jack of diamonds this time.
D'Angelo's card call didn't work last time. Let's see if it works this time.
It's a low flop. He's happy so far, as are the D'Angelo family.
Any jack.
Dodge an ace or a king in order to double through.
He's now singing for outs.
Turn is
Not that he needs to improve, he still leads. That does give Ryman a gut shot straight draw, in addition to the 2 overcards to the board. Ryman supporters calling for the deuce, but it's the king on the river. And again, Ryan's sister thinks he's won when he hasn't.
Well, as poker players, we know the math's still the same no matter what order the cards come in. But it hurts even worse when that king comes on the river.
Good game. Good game, Barry. You too. Thanks. Good game, Ben. Please.
Ryan started the day as chip leader, but has to make do with a 5th place finish.
Yeah, we have.
I'd like to introduce you to 4 freshly minted PokerStars millionaires.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, sir.
Good job, guys. Nice playing.
And now just 4 players remain in the PCA main event.
8 men began this final table, but it was chip leader Ryan D'Angelo who stood above the rest. And while others began to emerge, D'Angelo was hit hard.
You're so bad. What are you doing?
And then sent packing.
I felt like I played good. I mean, it just wasn't my day.
Now only 4 men remain, each a millionaire, but only one will take home the $2.2 million grand prize and the main event trophy. For James Harshkin and Gavin Griffin, I'm Michelle Orr, and thank you for watching the 2010 PCA main event.